Okay, today's new lesson, active voice and passive voice. Objectives. Identify verbs in a variety of contexts. Analyze verbs to determine whether construction rely on active or passive voice. Draw conclusions about how to match active and passive voice to their writing situation. Choose the verb active or passive appropriate for the audience and the purpose of the writing. Has a teacher ever told you use the active voice when you are right? And have you ever thought what on earth is the active voice? And why do so many people talk to me as if I should know it? If so, you are not alone. To identify whether a sentence written in the active or passive voice, you must look for two things: the verb or verb phrase of the sentence and the sentence subject. If the subject comes before the verb, the sentence is active. If the subject comes after the verb, it is a passive. So, how do you determine the subject of a sentence you ask? Simple. Find the verb or verb phrase and ask the question. Who or what is doing the action? For example, if you take the sentence, Jack played Spider-Man for 3 hours last night. The verb of the sentence is played. If you ask who or what is doing the playing, the answer is Jack. Therefore, the subject of the sentence is Jack. The verb is played since Jack. The subject comes before played. The verb, this sentence, is written in the active voice. Let's look at another example and complete it together. The dog ate my homework. What is the verb of this sentence? You have 5 seconds to think. Go. The verb in the sentence is ate. Now, who or what is doing the eating? This will be the subject of the sentence. You have 5 seconds to think. Go. The dog is doing the eating in this sentence. Therefore, the dog is the subject now. Remember, the subject must come before the verb for a sentence to be active, and often the verb to be passive. So, if the dog is the subject and the ate is the verb. Is this sentence written in the active or passive voice? You have 5 seconds. Think. Go. This sentence is written in the active voice because the subject comes before the verb. Now, what if the previous sentence was written like this? My homework was eaten by the dog. Let's figure out if this sentence is active or passive. Step 1. What is the verb or verb phrase in this sentence? You have 5 seconds to think. Go. The verb phrase in this sentence is was eaten. Step 2. Who or what doing the eating in this sentence? Was it my homework or the dog? You have 5 seconds to think. Go. The dog is doing the eating in this sentence. Therefore, the dog is the subject since we know the verb phrase is was eaten. Under the subject is dog. Here is the final questions. Is the sentence written in the active or passive voice? Remember, the subject comes before the verb. If it is active and after the verb, if it is passive, you have 5 seconds to think. Go. If you guessed passive, you are correct. Now it is your turn to identify if the following 10 sentences